We welcome you to worship tonight as we continue our Lenten season of recovery, focusing on health as essential to our spiritual lives. Let's begin singing.
Prolonged times of difficulty can impede our ability to stay creative, and the picture of our lives is dulled, and hope for a brighter future can fade. We need a touch of inspiration, something to awaken us from our sleep as we hear in this week's story. We emerge ready to re-engage the world, seeking and seeing solutions, creating different pictures of life renewed, just as a mosaic artist creates beauty from broken pieces of glass. Let us acknowledge our need to restore, repair, and renew our holy vessels, so that we might be able to create and imagine new possibilities, new solutions. Let us pray. God of all possibilities, made in your image, you have tasked us as co-creators of a better world. You bestowed imagination and the ability to learn and progress. But we are tired. Our energy wanes and enthusiasm enthusiasm wanes. The call for ideas, solutions, and adaptations have been nonstop for us all, whether we're needing to find ways to keep children engaged or figuring out how to maintain a passion for our work within the midst of trying times, or needing desperately to undo systems of oppression too long affecting our lives and the lives of our neighbors. Not only our livelihoods, but our liveliness is at stake. Too often we want to give up, declare it all too hard, and simply isolate, waiting out time for better days. It feels overwhelming, and so we look away, sometimes even from the needs in our own community. Help us, healer. Show us our energy reserves. Forgive our cynicism. Move us to move, one step at a time, toward greater care for one another. In this silence, we sense and acknowledge our yearning for wholeness. We are gifted with agency to effect healing in the world, no matter what. We are not alone, and we can join with others to magnify hope. Christ will answer when we call, when we reach out for what we know can help, for you, for me, for all. Take a deep breath and breathe in the truth that Christ fills you and empowers you to bring new life. And breathe out with the relief of assurance.
The contemporary word for tonight comes from Dr. T.P. Chia. Get out of your comfort zone. Wake up the sleeping giant in you. And our ancient word comes from the book of St. Matthew, the 9th chapter. While Jesus was saying these things to the disciples, suddenly a leader of the synagogue came in, knelt before him, saying, "My daughter has just died, but come and lay your hand on her and she will live." Jesus got up and followed him with his disciples. Then suddenly a woman who had been suffering from hemorrhages for 12 years came up behind him and touched the fringe of his cloak. For she said to herself, "If only I touch the cloak, I will be made well." Jesus turned, and seeing her, he said, "Take heart, daughter. Your faith has made you well." And instantly the woman was made well. When Jesus came to the leader's house and saw the flute players and the crowd making a commotion, he said, "Go away, for the girl is not dead, but sleeping." And they laughed at him. But when the crowd had been put outside, he went in, took her by the hand, and the girl got up. And the report of this spread throughout that district. Word of God, word of life. Thanks be to God. There is a familiarity to these healing narratives by now. We know Jesus heals through touch and that faith can make us well. Jesus has the power to heal from illness and the power to overcome death itself. Today's lesson weaves together two stories of healing, the revival of the girl and the healing of the hemorrhagic woman. The characters of the story are quite different. One is a powerful man who can interrupt Jesus in the midst of his dinner to make a request for help, and Jesus gets up and follows. The other, a woman on the outside, who merely reaches for Jesus' cloak as he passes by. The gospel only recounts Jesus' words to the woman, but he speaks to her, he touches her, he heals her. The story about resurrection is interrupted by and interpreted through the story of being saved. As you hear this story, pay attention to the words rise and save. Words and actions connect the stories of the daughter and the woman to the salvific story of Jesus' death and resurrection. Images of death and resurrection do not have the last word, but give way to new life. It can feel impossible to imagine that we might emerge with new life, with vigor and creativity in these exhausting times. But creativity can happen. It can happen when we must prune and cull and prioritize simply because we are exhausted. What things have we been holding on to in our lives or in the church just because we've always done it this way? In what ways is Jesus calling you into new life? In this season of recovery, what is being reawakened in us and in our communities? What is being saved? And why? what will we do with our newfound sense of healing? What will we leave behind, and what new things will we usher into our lives and our communities with this new awareness we bring with us? The words of Jesus that we highlight this week from the healing story are this: the girl is not dead, but sleeping. Today we have touched on our need to be rejuvenated in spirit, to awaken with new energy for creativity and curiosity. This is an intellectual healing that is a spiritual healing. We may feel like we have been slowly dying these past months, but Jesus tells us, you are not dying. Perhaps we are sleeping. This is the healing we yearn for, to be awakened, brought back to life with vitality and vigor for what is coming next, for the days ahead. And so this week, I want you to play with creating a different picture from the broken pieces. Take your broken pieces, pull them out, set them in front of you on a flat surface. Lay them out as a mosaic artist would, with the pieces of brokenness before them, and play with the configurations of the sand or the glass or the stones, and just see what emerges as you play with colors and space, creating art from the broken that is with you. Even when the raw materials of our lives feel broken, we can get a new perspective that awakens a new vision for life with us simply by reimagining the brokenness that we bring. A new perspective that awakens a new vision for life. Play with them. Turn them over. Flip them around. Look at the colors. But when you have found a placement that brings a spark of delight, a bit of joy or hope, stop. Take a picture of it. And if you are one that uses a specific wallpaper on your phone, maybe this week use that image of that brokenness gathered together in a way that brings hope to you as your wallpaper, as that thing you will see repeatedly every time you reach for your phone, as a reminder of God's grace. If you are not one that would do that type of thing, I invite you to take what you have there and leave it. Leave it as a place, something that will remind you visibly where you are, that we are capable of reworking and remaking the picture of what life can be. If it's in a place where it is not going to be visible, move it to a table, move it to an entryway, move it to your bedside, move it somewhere where you can use it as a focal point in the midst of life for prayers of healing and hope. Let us begin our week in this brokenness, brought to life in art and reflecting as we sing.
us pray. Healer of our every ill, we come before you to make our petitions known. Hear our cries for healing of body, mind, and spirit. You remind us that we do not have to shoulder everything alone. We give you thanks that all we must do is orient ourselves toward your divine spirit to accompany us, touch us, and inspire us and heal us. We pray especially for all who feel opportunity and possibility is cut off to them, whose spirit is continually dampened and damaged by those who fail to see value in their contributions, who steal away rights to the fullness of expression. We give thanks for communities, churches, nonprofits, and businesses that are supporting and flourishing all voices, especially voices that have been silenced. We give thanks for the courage of innovators who use their resources and creativity to make more good in the world, making this a priority over profit. We ask for courage and encouragement to reevaluate how we as a church can join this effort now and into the future. In your love, make us whole. May we rest in your compassion. Calm the lost, weary soul in the warmth of your love. May peace fill our hearts. May we know the love of Jesus. By your grace, you console us. Make us holy. Make us whole. Amen. Now go with confidence. Confidence that we will be awakened, that we will seek out and reach for the healing solutions that our neighbors, our communities, and our world needs. Recovering our depth of love for all and our joy of living in this world. Thanks be to God. Amen.
Amen.